This is the plaintiff, Darlene Parini. She says she hired the defendant to make a concrete kitchen countertop for her. And when it was ready to be installed, he broke it. He came back and did it again, and again he broke it. At that point, she lost faith in his abilities, and she's suing for the $1,000 she paid him. This is the defendant, Mitchell Joseph. He says the plaintiff's boyfriend didn't like the way the countertop looked after the first phase, and she asked for her money back. He tried to explain it takes a day to dry. Then he would be back to remove the mold and to smooth it down, but she wouldn't listen. He's sorry the plaintiff changed her mind, but how is that on him? He's accused of not being concrete in his abilities.
All parties, please raise your right hand. The People's Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Marilyn Milian now presiding. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
You're welcome.
All right, Ms. Parini, you are suing Mitchell Joseph of SWFL Marble, Tile, and Stone for a $1,000 deposit that you paid him, and according to you, he was not up for the job. Tell me what happened.
Well, I hired him to do a concrete countertop. And he told me he had no problem doing that. So he came, we talked a couple of times. He told me that the whole job was going to be like $1,750 and that I needed to give him a $1,000 deposit. And I said to him, well, what if I don't like it? And he said, well, you know, you're definitely going to like it. And if not, you know, I'll give you your money back.
Well, that's weird. What if you just say you don't like it and then, you know, he's gone through, that's a terrible thing for a businessman to say. But anyway, go on.
Well, that's what he said. And so it's not even a matter of me not liking it. It was broken in pieces. I ordered an entire countertop, not a puzzle to like glue together.
So where does he do the pouring and the mold? Is all that taking place in your kitchen?
Yes. First he came and he said he had to make a template, which he did. And then he was going to, you know, continue and pour the cement, which he did. And we watched him. It was right in the kitchen. And
did you take any pictures?
I took a lot of pictures. First, because I was so excited that he was doing it. And then because I couldn't believe what it was turning out like. But that's the template that he's making on the counter. And that was the first batch of cement that he poured on right there.
Okay.
When he went back outside to get the rest of the cement, that big blob had already set. It was hard. He was trying to push it down flat, and it was actually like a lump on the countertop.
Okay.
So I said to him, well, how's that going to work? And he said, don't you worry. This is going to be flipped upside down. So this is the bottom. So I still was a little worried because when I sit at a countertop, I don't want like pieces of cement slicing up your legs underneath it. But he said, don't worry, I'm going to sand it all down. So I just waited.
Okay. And what happened?
So, well, the next day when it was all poured out, he came back and he flipped it over and it broke in half.
It broke in half?
Yes. The whole piece that was supposed to be the over the counter for like a little, just put a stool to sit there. That whole piece broke off. So he said, don't worry, it happens sometimes. He did it again. And the next day, after the second time he poured the cement, when he had it, you could see that it was cracked everywhere. It wasn't just cracked in one place. It was cracked, look, everywhere. So I told him, you know, this doesn't really seem to be your strong point, and I really don't, you know, want to go any further. And he told me that, you know, I watch too much TV on YouTube, and he's 7 generations of stone workers, and he could do this. And I said, at this point, we were like into it by like a week. I said, at this point, I just don't want to, I don't want to go any further.
Okay.
And he said, okay.
All right. So, Mr. Joseph, tell me what happened here. She showed me pictures of a lot of cracked concrete.
Yes, Your Honor. Okay, perfect. So when I first talked to Darlene, we tried to talk her into doing granite, okay? They didn't want to spend the money on granite. She said, we would like to have concrete. So I told her it's a process that has to be critiqued. You can't just pour a mold and then put it on the countertop and there's no cracks or chips or anything. You have to fine tune it. It has to be done in several stages. First of all, Your Honor, we were only there 2 days. We bought all the material, which was $700. I wouldn't even have taken on the job because there wasn't enough profit. My installer, who was doing it, who has done several of them, wanted $500. So the material was $7, the install was $5. There was only a couple dollars left over for Southwest Florida marble, tile, and stone, which that didn't matter to me because we had took on the job. When you pour the mold, it hardens, and then you pour another one and another one and another one. It's not like pouring a driveway or a sidewalk where you can pour it all in and then let it dry for 3 days, because it doesn't work like that. What you have to use is a specialized concrete that hardens within 15 minutes. So anything that would go in, and sometimes you get like a Hershey Kiss where when you pour it, it locks coming out of the bucket. So what you do is you just shave that top off, and everything on the bottom is going to be super smooth. Now, all the cracks that you see in the countertop get flashed the next day.
What's that mean?
That means you do a smooth coat with a trowel over the top of the countertop to eliminate all the cracks. Then after
For how
the
long?
cracks
And when you do a smooth trowel of concrete over cracked concrete, how long does that last?
So, Your Honor, with all due respect, okay, so there's going to be hairline cracks. They're not cracks like 1 inch. These are just pressure cracks, okay? So when you have a pressure crack, what happens is you fill it up with that's a chipped corner.
What about this?
These are the cracks.
What's this?
Yeah, those are hairline cracks.
That's a hairline crack.
That's a 1/4 inch. Okay. Now, what you do is you fill that up with concrete, and then we glaze it with an epoxy after we're done. Now, we were only allowed to go there for 2 days.
Well, why did you start over if that's the case? She says you started over after the first one when it cracked.
We never started over. We poured it one time, and then we came back the next day, flipped it over, the corner chipped off, and then we were going to, put the corner back on and then flash everything. And by that time, when we left that day, the boyfriend called and he said, listen, we're not happy with, how it's coming out. Don't come back. Return the money. And I was like, well, listen, I said, that's fine. I said, we won't come back. But here's the issue. We've already spent the $700 on material, and the installer
can I just ask you, do you have any proof that you spent $700 on materials?
No, not on me, right? This has been a long time. I'm surprised it even made it because this happened, I'd say 2019. I think you only have a year to stretch these on.
That's not true. And B, when did this happen, Ms. Parini?
It was February of 2020.
Okay.
The first I started talking to him.
Can I do you have your mate there, boyfriend or husband? I don't know. I can't remember.
Yes.
Can I speak to him?
We have to swear him in.
Sure.
Can I get you to raise your right hand, please?
Sure.
You solemnly swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right. Let me hear from you. Were you there while this job was being done?
Yes, ma'am.
And what happened, according to Darlene, after the first pour, when they flipped it over, it was cracked, and so they started all over?
They intended to, but pieces just kept on coming off.
Right, but did they start all over, or did they just keep working on that piece, or what did they do?
I couldn't tell you starting over or taking pieces out and putting pieces in.
Well, you'd know because the concrete would be missing. They would have gotten rid of it, and then they would have started with another template. That didn't happen, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
So are you present when he flips it over?
No, I wasn't.
All right. So when do you see the cracked nature of the concrete slab?
When I got home that day.
All right. Did he keep working after that?
The second day he attempted to do some more cement, yes.
All right. Were you there for that?
No.
All right. So you come home and they're gone that second day. How long were they there?
They were there the 2 days.
The 2 days. All right. And Mr. Joseph, so are you telling me that whenever anybody gets a concrete countertop made, there will be cracks in it, and then you just get a trowel and fix the cracks?
Yes, Your Honor. And see, Your Honor, with all due respect, it's not like concrete like you think. It's not where we're just going to fill up a little crack. It's almost like a super glue. This is a complicated job, and it takes several days for us to get it right. And once you pour it, it's never right on the first time. And I can say this for the plaintiff. I mean, if you're looking at this, nobody was there when we were there working. But if you're looking at this job when you come home, you're gonna say, wow, what is this? It's almost like if you walk into your home and it's remodeled and everything's tore apart, because at first you got to tear everything out to put it back together, you know?
It was a disaster when we got home. There was cement everywhere, chunks of cement. I don't know how you were going to put those, reattach those.
What did you end up doing, Ms. Perini?
We went and got granite. The only reason why we went with the other stuff was because we were like flipping a house and I didn't want to wait another month, and I didn't order the granite in time. And he told me this was a 3-day process. I did love
But you fired him after day 2. Who's the one who called him and said, don't come back?
I don't know. I don't remember. You did? Jimmy did. And
let me talk to Jimmy again.
Okay.
So Jimmy, you tell him not to come back. How does that conversation go? What do you say? What does he say?
Well, like, hold on. When I got home and I saw the disaster, and I knew that it couldn't be fixed. There was so many pieces everywhere. So I said, look, Joe, things are just not working.
When you say so many pieces everywhere, you're talking about cracks on the countertop, because pieces elsewhere is just a matter of cleanup. Has nothing to do with anything. So, and what did he say?
He said, well, I understand what you think, and we won't come back.
Wait, but did he tell you? I'm sorry. Did he tell you? No, I'm in the middle of the process. Don't worry, that'll be fixed during the process. Did he say stuff like that?
No, I don't think. I think he was kind of glad to hear me say that don't come back, because I don't think he really wanted to do the job to begin with. And the way things were looking, I just said, maybe it's a good idea that you don't come back. So he didn't argue with me. He's kind of agreeing with me.
Did you tell him you wanted your money back?
Yes, of course.
And what did he say?
I already spent the money. At that time, I tried to put a stop on the check, and it was cash already, and the bank couldn't do anything about it.
Right.
And that was it.
That same day.
The same day.
Let me ask you a question, Ms. Perini. If you were told it would be 3 days and you stop him on day 2.
No, we started.
Okay, your boyfriend said he was only there 2 days. Your boyfriend agreed with him that it was 2 days.
I know, and I still think he was there a 3rd day. I would almost bet anything, but it was a year ago, and I don't think they remember.
So but if in fact, it's a 3-day process, and whether it's a 3-day, whether he was there 3 days or 4 days, I really don't care, because there could be a delay. But if he tells you, look, I'm still in process, let me finish it. And according to you, he had told you, well, if you don't like it, I'll give you your money back. Why don't you just let him finish it to see if you like it? Why don't you just let him finish it to see if he's right about filling in the cracks and then the glaze on it and everything else? Because it's not like a concrete floor. It's something different, So why wouldn't you just let him finish?
Because like Jimmy said, he was kind of losing it now too. He couldn't believe it broke again. And it just was turning into a mess. A piece of cement broke off, and it chipped the floor.
Okay, Mr. Joseph, were you losing it because it was cracked?
Not at all, Your Honor. We never freak out. We're nice and smooth. I mean, no matter what you do, you can't freak out on anything, No,
but was it upsetting you that when you flipped it over, it was cracked?
No, not at all.
He was losing.
Yeah, I hear you. But here's the thing. This is a contracts case, and the question is who breached the contract, okay? And when I have somebody saying, I'm not done, you should give him the other day to see how it looks. And then you could take pictures of it and say, what a piece of garbage this is. I shouldn't have to pay for it. Give me my money back. But you stop him before he can finish, and now you want your money back too. How are you going to prove that he couldn't do exactly what he's saying, which is end up fixing it all and having it look like a concrete countertop looks. So none of us know how it would have ended up. If you'd let him finish and there were all these cracks on your countertop, slam, bam, thank you, ma'am. You'd be getting that $1,000 back. All you had to do was let the guy finish and then say, this is garbage, I want my money back, and show me pictures of the garbage it was. How are you going to prove your case here that he should return $1,000 when you didn't let him finish and he told you, I'm not done, I'm in the process? Verdict for the defendant.
The verdict for the defendant, no question about it. Miss Barnini, what are you thinking?
I'm kind of surprised, to be honest with you. I thought I gave him the benefit of the doubt, but it just kept getting worse and worse, and I chose to stop it at that point.
Well, the problem is you didn't give him a chance to finish, and that's why the judge found for the defendant in this. By the way,
give him a chance.
Whose idea was it to do a concrete countertop?
It was mine.
That doesn't sound like a very good idea.
Well, they're really beautiful. You should Google it.
I guess I will. All right. Well, sorry about that. You don't get your $1,000 back. Mr. Joseph, let me ask you, by the way, what's your opinion of a concrete countertop? You tried to talk her out of that, didn't you?
Yes, sir. I tried to talk her out of it. I tried to tell her to go with granite, and that's what she ended up going with. She ended up going with granite.
Congratulations. Good enough. Okay, Harvey.
So, Doug, here's the deal. If somebody does a job for you and it's not perfect, you got to give them a chance to complete it, to make it right. Usually, that's one chance to make it right. In this case, the plaintiff didn't give any chances, and because of that, she lost.
Why does the judge have long sneezing fits of 10-plus sneezes in a row?
Seriously?
Seriously, man. What's up with that? Everybody.
It's just the way I do it.
It's very
I take after my mother. My mother does it. I have a niece who does it. My niece Michelle does it.
Right.
It's just the way we sneeze.
It's inherited, definitely.
I think so. I mean, none of our kids do it.
Actually, Christina sneezes 2 times in a row.
Yeah.
Almost every time.
That's not the same as 9 to 13.
For you, par, the standard is 9 sneezes.